Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Written Vintage Homestead. And today I just have to get something off my chest. I want to get your opinion, but I think we ought to tell everyone who wants to do a Secret Santa to kick rocks. So I was having a conversation with a single mother this week who was distraught because her child came home from school. They're in a organization at school, a club at school, and one of the powers of be there at the school decided that they were going to do a Secret Santa, and not just once, but they were going to do it for the entire week. And so in case you aren't familiar with the Secret Santa, that is where you typically pull someone's name out of a hat and you get them a gift, but they don't know who the gift is from. Okay, so you sneak it on their desk or you somehow get it to them and they're unaware of who got the gift. This is done in the workplace, it's done in schools, it's done in clubs, you hear about it a lot. And in this instance, the mom was a little dismayed because you're talking 5 days in a school week. So that's 5 different gifts. And as we know, even going to the Dollar Tree anymore doesn't mean what you're going to buy is $1. Things at the Dollar Tree that were once $1 are now anywhere from $3 to $5. So you take that 1 day gift, let's say $3 for 5 days of the week, there's $15. Let's say you have 2 children. Not that this is a math lesson, but you have more than one child in the school system and they have a Secret Santa for 5 days a week. $30. Okay, some of you may say, well, that's not much. That is much, depending on your circumstances. In the case of this mother, the club had handed the students sheets, and the students filled out, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite cartoon character? What are your hobbies? And the Secret Santa is supposed to find gifts that pertain to these things that the other kids like. Okay, and then I want to give you my own personal story. I have a couple. When my husband and I were raising our children years ago in the early 80s, we were poorer than church mice. I am not kidding. We really struggled. And Christmas time was so hard that many times we had to whip out the credit cards, and then we would spend years trying to pay off that credit card debt just so that we didn't let anyone down at Christmas. And there were times that there would be, I was working at a bank in the 80s. I remember one time someone decided to do a Secret Santa. And so once again, they gave sheets. What are your hobbies? What do you like? What are you hoping for? That kind of thing. And they put a spending limit on it of $30. And for me, that was a lot. I had to buy for my children. I had to buy for my other family members. I had to buy food. I had to try to pay bills. $30 was a lot of money for me. And I know it's a lot of money for people now, especially in this economy. But you have peer pressure. And you don't want to say, you guys, I don't want to get in the Secret Santa. Well, why not? So you have that peer pressure. You have to get into it. I also had this at another place of employment, and then this was recently, within the last 10 years. And let's do a Secret Santa, and they put a $40 limit on it. I think that's ridiculous to buy a $40 gift for someone that you work with. Now, let's consider you have to get your mail lady something, your hairdresser something, your child's teacher something, your child's Secret Santa gifts, your food, your bills. It's too much. So I think there are so many other alternatives that could be done instead of Secret Santa. And I wish whoever organizes these things would take into account that we all have different circumstances. And think about the peer pressure on the kids. You know, they know mom, they know dad are struggling. And they have to go home and tell them, I need a gift. You know, we have to spend this much money. So it's hard for mom and dad. And then, you know, you always have those moms or dads that go way overboard because this is no problem for them. And they want everyone to know it's no problem for them. So, you know, their gift is really expensive, extravagant. And then eventually your Secret Santa finds out who their Secret Santa was, and then the chatter starts if it didn't measure up to their expectations. So I think we need to remember we're not all in the same circumstances. It's easier for us as adults to deal with this. It's harder for kids. And it's just one more avenue where bullying can take place. Okay? So let's kick Secret Santa to the curb and let's try to think of some alternatives. And I think I have some. And you know, that's one thing I really miss from Christmas long ago are the Christmas cards. We used to get Christmas cards. My parents would get them. We would get them in school from our friends and whatnot. We would get them at work and we would just hang them on a string or tape them to a door, and they were beautiful. And then we would use those later for crafts and things. But now in the day of email, you get an email card. It's just not the same. And I know it's expensive with the mail to send out 20 or 30 cards every year. It's expensive. So I really like the idea of making a card, you know, and giving those to someone else instead of buying gifts. What about an ornament exchange? How about you make an ornament and you exchange the ornament with the other student or your other workmate? Something that you make that reflects them. Or something that is something you like that you want to share with them. You probably have those items around your house. You can make cinnamon ornaments. You can make popsicle stick ornaments. Anything you can find. And if you're not that crafty, you can go to the dollar store and get an ornament for $3, okay? And wrap it up cute in tissue paper. But that is so much less expensive. And I also like too, you can do the same thing that you did in a cookie exchange with an ornament exchange. Let's say you have 5 coworkers, so you make 5 ornaments that reflect you. They make 5, everyone makes 5. You take 1 of each, you go home with 5 ornaments, and then when you look at them on your tree, you're reminded of that person and what they mean to you. So I think ornaments are a good idea too. What kid wouldn't love getting a Christmas joke? Seriously, a joke written out on paper. Here is my Christmas joke. I'm going to share this one with you. You share this one with me. And then we're going to get up in front of the class and tell our jokes. That costs nothing. They can get online and find tons of Christmas jokes, and the whole class would be laughing by the end of the day. And you know how kids love to come home and then tell their jokes to mom and dad and their brothers and sisters. Let them exchange a Christmas joke and have some fun. Not new books, loved, read, and used books. What's wrong with that? I'm going to exchange with my classmate, my workmates, one of my favorite books. And I'm going to wrap it up very pretty, and I'm going to put a note in there why I love this book. Let's say you don't have one at home. Then you go to your Goodwill. You go to your Salvation Army and you find a book that you think the other person would really like. So you're also helping out the community too. Everyone loves a good book. And this time of year at places like Salvation Army and Goodwill, they have their Christmas stuff out readily for people to buy. And they have tons of kids' Christmas books. So exchange a book. And nothing is more meaningful than getting cozy and having a cup of hot chocolate and looking at your new special candy cane. There are so many different flavors of candy canes out there, and there's so many different sizes. What about a candy cane with a special note tied to it? Or you could put your joke on the candy cane and exchange those that way. I think candy canes are inexpensive. You can get a whole box for just several dollars. So not only can you exchange them with one student, you can maybe hand out enough for the whole class with a Christmas joke on it. So candy canes is a nice alternative. My community where I live, they do something really fun at Easter time, and you'll also see it around during the summertime. But at Easter time, out at our local forest preserve, they will paint rocks to look like Easter eggs, and the children will mark how many of those rocks they can find. And then also, too, you'll be walking down Main Street and you may see a painted rock with a little message on it that you get to keep. And the idea is you put one back eventually of your own design. Kids love painted rocks. Let them go home and make their Secret Santa a painted rock and make it look like a character or just with a message on it. You go outside, you get a rock, you paint it up, and then you exchange it. And then you can go before the class and show what you got. And I think that's a wonderful idea too. Plus it's free. If you're an adult and you're in a reading group or a book club, exchange bookmarks. No, don't go buy them. Make them. Make a bookmark that reflects one of your favorite books with something positive on it, a Bible verse or pictures that you've cut out of a magazine. Use your imagination, but exchange bookmarks. And then when your friend reads their favorite book throughout the winter time and they pull that out, they're going to think of you. Do you have a friend who has a green thumb, or do you have a green thumb? Propagate your plants. If you have a lot of plants at home, split those up. Put those in nice little containers and give that as a gift. I know when I was working in the workplace, I had a real nice window ledge where I would put my plants, and they just went to town. I would love it if someone gave me a beautiful African violet or one of their ivy plants. So propagate your plants and give that as a gift. Children, not so much, but adults can totally do that. Have a plant swap. Have a seed swap. Something that pertains to homesteading. And we've all seen the movie Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase, right? One of my favorite movies. And the Aunt Bethany walks in with a box that's shaking because she goes around the house and finds things she doesn't use anymore and gives them as gifts. And one of the gifts she gave away accidentally was her cat. But I love the idea. Is there a knick-knack? Like I said, a book. Is there craft supplies that you could put together in a nice craft box? Re-thrift your house and make sure that everyone stays on the same theme. Not so much kids, this is for adults, but say we're going to swap craft supplies. We're going to swap spices. We're going to swap knickknacks, something like that. Board games. We did that one time at my work, and that was a lot of fun. Do you have board games you no longer use? Do that with a Secret Santa gift. Thrift your house, but don't do like Aunt Bethany and throw the cat in.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you